Menopause and weight loss or fat loss. Now, the internet, YouTube, everywhere is swimming with misinformation around the menopause. If you can lose weight, not lose weight, what you should be doing, shouldn't be doing, what type of exercise you should be doing. I mean, there's so much out there. This video is going to break down some of the myths and give you some action steps that you can become the fittest, the strongest, the healthiest, the happiest you've ever been in your whole life. Yes, it's there. This can be a thing. We can get you there. It's just really sorting through all of the rubbish that's out there on the internet and then making a plan and sticking to it. And with a plan, it's the same with anything. If you were building a business, if you were building your social media, if you were going to run a marathon, you would start with a plan and also realize that this is not a short-term fix. It's not something that we can change in 7 days, 14 days. Those kind of programs can give you a kickstart and get on the right road. But ultimately, this is lifelong fitness, lifelong health. It is the small incremental changes, the small habits that you can change and stick to that will give you the big results. So if you are in the throes of the menopause and you have a myriad of symptoms, and the list just gets longer and longer, doesn't it? All the time. So many menopausal symptoms, tiny symptoms, big symptoms, life-changing symptoms, to annoying symptoms. Yeah, they're all there. First thing you can do is you can get hormonal testing. So you can get a test called the Dutch test, and the Dutch test will give you a profile of your hormones. So you'll be able to see where your estrogen is, your progesterone is, your testosterone and your cortisol. So I'm going to link to details around the Dutch test because that's a good start. If you're feeling that you are swimming in cortisol is the fat storing hormone, and cortisol is naturally increasing in menopause, but you may feel that you're having a lot of cortisol, you're feeling it, then you can get a cortisol test. And again, I will link to the details below. You do need to go with a good practitioner who can interpret those results for you and then make some recommendations. So that's important. There is no blood work, there's no blood test that you can do that will tell you anything about your menopausal symptoms. So you have to really go symptom-led. So I would recommend that you write down all of the symptoms that you're having. And if you are going to your GP, that you go with as much data as you possibly can. So write everything down. Even if it seems really small, write it down. Anything that's changed, how long you've been struggling with it, when it shows up, is it acute? Is it happening all the time? Is it sporadic? Is there certain times of the month that you're noticing this particular symptom? Write it all down. So when you do go to your GP, you have as much data and information as possible, because if you're in the UK, you only get a very short window of time with your GP. So you want to make sure that you are using that time effectively and you've got the right information, and then your GP can help you. If you go to the GP and you don't have that information, then it's always going to be hard for them to decide or recommend to you what would be the best form of action, whether it's HRT, whether it's not HRT, which kind of HRT, because there's so many different configurations of HRT. Some women can't take HRT, some women don't want to take HRT, and for many women it's an absolute lifesaver, and we're all individual. This is the thing with menopause, there's no one size fits all. So if you have got the ability to do testing, if you can do testing, that's going to help. If you can't, symptom-led, go to the GP and go armed with as much information as you possibly can. Now, there are so many factors that you can control, that you can change, and you can do to make a difference. Now, just because you're menopausal, the laws of fat loss and weight loss don't suddenly change when you get into menopause. You still do need to be in a calorie deficit. So if you do tracking, use an app like MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck. You can input everything that you're eating on a daily, weekly basis, and you can see exactly where you are. You may even be eating all of the right foods, all of the healthy foods. But if you're eating in a calorie surplus, you will gain weight. Now, having said that, it's not just that simple. That's a good start. Because so many of my clients will say, Rachel, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing it all right, and I'm not losing weight. And then we'll do tracking. or I'll get my clients to write down everything that they're eating. And when we actually look at the calories that they're taking on board, we're seeing that they are eating way over their total daily energy expenditure. They're way into a surplus. So this is causing that weight gain. And often it can be calories, sort of alcohol calories. They can really swing your calories up into a high surplus. It may be that you're eating a lot of healthy foods, things like avocado, which again are very healthy, but they also have a lot of calories in, so they will push up the calorie count. But there's also around that, there's your hormonal profile, your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. These are all fluctuating, they're all declining, and they're having an impact on all different hormones like ghrelin and leptin. You've also got gut microbiome. What's happening with the gut here? This could also be having an effect on how your food is being absorbed and the nutrients being absorbed. So it's not just about the calories, but that would be my first port of call, would be make sure that you are in a calorie deficit. Now, what sort of food should be eating? Well, focus on good, healthy vegetables and grains and good carbohydrates and good fats and eating from a rainbow and focusing on just having 3 healthy meals. That's it. You don't need to be snacking through the day. In fact, snacking through the day does spike up the blood sugar levels, and we want to try and keep a nice even keel with the blood sugar levels as we go through the day. So if you have your breakfast, if you eat breakfast at the same time every day, then 4 hours later you have your second meal, and then 4 or 5 hours after that you have your last meal, and you don't snack. If you're eating a really balanced meal, you've got protein, and you need protein at every meal. So something like a palm size here of protein on your meal. You should be full. You should feel full. You should feel satisfied. And that should really help with crazy cravings. If you're eating a balanced meal, if you've got good fats, carbohydrates and protein, and you're eating plenty of protein at every meal, then it will really minimize the cravings. So just focus on counting your calories so you know where you are, eating 3 healthy meals, spacing out those meals so you're not snacking, making sure that you are adequately hydrated, so a good 2 litres of water per day. Look at your sleep. Are you getting to bed 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock? Are you sleeping all the way through? Or are you waking up? Is it cortisol that's waking you up? And can you improve your sleep hygiene? So things like not eating your last meal too late, or at least leaving a few hours before you go to bed, having Epsom salt baths, magnesium spray, not looking at the news before you go to bed, not going to bed and looking at your phone so the blue light's in, caffeine, minimizing your caffeine, maybe just having your coffee in the morning and then stopping and switching to decaf. They can all have a massive impact on your sleep quality. And if you're still struggling with sleep, then look at magnesium or ashwagandha. They can really help. So your exercise is next on our list. Now, moving through the day, doing as much movement as you can. Now, I'm a big fan of a Fitbit or a tracker. And the reason is it just brings you good data. You know at the end of your day how many steps you've done. And that's important. As a menopausal woman, being active through the day. And it all adds up. So 10 minutes of walking here, 15 minutes of walking here, 20 minutes of strength training here. In different pockets of the day, all adds up, and that will all add to your activity levels, which is a positive. That's what we need. We need to be up and active. If you're sitting at a desk for long periods, is there a possibility you could get a standing desk? Can you get up quite often and move around? Building in as much activity through the day is really key. And that's why I think Fitbits are really good, because you get the data at the end of the day. You've done 10,000 steps or 15,000 steps. And then you can have a push goal. So you can push however many steps you get on one day. You can push the next day and say, right, I'm going to get another 2,000 steps in the following day. And you can keep increasing your activity levels. Strength training, weight training. Now that could be Pilates reformer. It could be Pilates with weights. It might be a circuit class. It might be a step class. It might be an aerobics class, a HIIT class. And I'm going to come on to HIIT classes and cortisol in a minute. What do you enjoy? What do you love doing? Do you like going swimming? Swimming's fantastic because although it's non-impact, it's great for your heart and lungs. It's great for your mind. It's great for your mental cognition. There's no phones in the pool. There's nobody trying to contact you and the water. I love swimming. Swimming is a fantastic activity to really just switch off from everything and everybody and just swim up and down. Oh, I do. I'm already fantasizing about it now. But it might be swimming that you do, and change the type of exercise. You might do swimming, you might do dancing, you might do a Zumba class, you might do a strength training class. There's so many things that you can do. There's workouts, and if you want any of my workouts, my strength training workouts, just put a comment below and I can send you a link for my Lift Lean workouts, which is a home strength training class that you can do. But keeping moving, and your Fitbit will just help you log it. You'll see how many steps you've done and what your activity levels are done. And then you can just slowly keep increasing that as you go. It's key. It's key for your bone health, to keep your bones strong. It's key to increase your muscle mass, because the muscle mass is reducing naturally, but you can stop that. You can stop that sarcopenia by doing regular strength training. So highly recommend a Fitbit or any kind of tracker that just, you know exactly where you're at with that. Now let's just talk about high intensive or high impact work. If you've done a lot of high intensity training and high impact work and you love running and marathons and really enjoy it, then of course they do elicit a cortisol response. And if you have got very, very high levels of cortisol anyway, due to the declining hormones, then you might just need to regulate it a little bit until you get your cortisol under control, and then you can go back and do it. If you're finding that your high impact is becoming problematic for your joints, then maybe you need to moderate it. But no one size fits all. If you love doing high intensity and high impact, you get that energy and that buzz and that feeling and the music and the whole aerobic high, the runner's high that you so enjoy. And as long as you're not injuring yourself, and as long as it's not really increasing your cortisol levels even more, then really do stick at it, keep going. If you love your high intensity, yet you are struggling with pelvic floor problems and you're struggling with your joints, then you might need to change and moderate a little bit. But it might not be forever. You might just moderate it for a short period of time. You might get your nutrition on track, you might start really working on your sleep, and then you can jump back into your high intensity. So everyone's menopausal journey, there's no hard and fast rules for exercise apart from walking, moving and strength training on a daily basis. Now, stress management, massive. When you're feeling stressed through the day, these could be small stress, big stress, just try employing one simple technique. It might be a mindfulness breathwork practice that when you feel that stress, you just breathe in for 4 counts, you hold your breath. You breathe out for 4 counts, you hold your breath. And that's a great way of just calming everything down. Now, if you can get your nutrition, you can improve your nutrition. If you can improve your activity levels, you can improve your hydration, you can work on your sleep, this will have a massive impact on any menopausal symptoms that you are having. Really will. It will really have a positive impact on them. In some cases, they may disappear. But if they don't disappear and you are still being affected by menopausal symptoms, seek help. Don't struggle through this. Go and see your GP. Explain that you're doing all of these things correctly and you're really putting your health first, yet you're still struggling with this. And then you can speak to your GP and decide what the next course of action is for you. So I'd love to hear from you. How are you getting on in your menopause? Are you trying to lose weight in your menopause? If you are, comment below and I can send you a meal plan. I can send you some tips around weight loss and menopause. And if you do need coaching and you do need some help, again, put a comment in and I can send you details of what we do here at Rachel Holmes Menopause Coaching. Do let me know and I'm happy to help. And of course, I'll keep putting my videos up every single week to motivate you, inspire you and educate you as a midlife woman.